This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are watching the Royals POSTCAST, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, and I'm here to bring you reaction to every single Royals game the rest of the way. You can follow me on Twitter at Chance Liebau. It's right there in the header. And if you can't make a show live, do not worry. These episodes will be posted on demand on the podcast, wherever you get them, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Odyssey. We're on all of them. Google Podcasts, you name it, we've got it. Go check us out. It is still under the Locked On Royals podcast, but they are just called the Royals POSTCAST on there. Before we get started, want to say remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications so that you get an alert whenever we go live. I appreciate you all for joining the show. And, feel free to leave comments. And if you have a question for me, feel free to ask. I know that Brent McKenzie hopping in here asking a question. Is Canna the guy to bat behind Cags? We'll get into that, Brent. And appreciate you for hopping in and getting in here early. We will get to the comments. If you guys have a question, the conversations that you guys have with each other, probably not going to respond to those. But if you have a question for me, absolutely feel free to ask it. This is I want to have feedback with you guys and myself. So feel free to ask questions in the comment section below. All right. We always get started with our opening segment. Here is what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I think that a lot of people are going to be asking if the offense the last four games was kind of a fluke. But I think tonight was mostly the fact that this was a really, really good pitching matchup. Noah Cameron and Dylan Cease, really good pitching matchup. I think Dylan Cease for the money is worth a lot. I think he's one of the better right-handed pitchers in the game, and he's got history against the Royals, maybe not with the White Sox, but Dylan Cease has played the Royals quite a few times in his career. He's really good at home with the Padres, and he's got that hard fastball that the Royals have not really had success hitting this season. A guy like a Dylan Cease who can really run the digits up there, that's a guy the Royals are going to struggle with. And he's got a really good slider. He gets that curveball up and going. And that's really kind of my takeaway from it. I wasn't too upset with how the offense performed tonight. It's a really, really good pitching matchup. I thought Noah Cameron held his own. Somebody in the comments section said 2 pitches all night. That's really it. I mean, that's all the Padres had. They 2 pitches all night cost them. And at the end of the day, I think the Royals are just fine. I'm not panicking whatsoever. But also, I think it's important to recognize that they're going to have to beat good pitchers. They're going to have to beat good pitchers at some point, especially in the playoffs. Teams are going to have good pitchers. So it's a little bit concerning to see them struggling against velocity like that of Dylan Cease. But I come away with this one just kind of so-so on the performance. You know, Bobby Witt Jr. had a double there late. The offense never really competed that well. They got 4 hits all game, but they didn't strike out. They put the ball in play. I'm not too upset about how the bats performed against a really good pitcher. I know Cease hasn't had his best season. I mean, at least compared to what he's done in the past, especially with the White Sox. But Dylan Cease is a really good pitcher, and he's seen the Royals before. I'm not too upset about what the Royals did today. Obviously want to see more offense from them. But hey, this is a road trip in which they started winning 4 in a row. I don't think it's time to hit the eject button, the panic button, or any of those. I think that you just kind of have to be okay with what the Royals were able to put on the board today. 1 run, obviously, is not what you want to see at the end of the day. But I think that the Royals are a team that is going to need to win low-scoring ball games. And against a pitcher like Dylan Cease, I think you would argue, and you'd be correct in arguing that Dylan Cease against Noah Cameron, I think Dylan Cease has that matchup pretty well handled. And the Padres, that's a lineup that doesn't have a whole lot of lefties in it. You think about their best hitters. You got Bogarts, Machado, Tatis. Those guys are all right-handed batters. They all hit well. They all hit lefties well. So I thought Noah Cameron, unspectacular, but, regressing to the mean is kind of what you expected from him. 5 1/3 innings, didn't strike out very many, walked 3, gave up 5 hits, whatever. I mean, that's kind of what you're going to have to live with a guy like Noah Cameron, who doesn't have blow-away stuff, doesn't have, a really tough fastball to hit. He's going to have off nights where his teams are seeing him well. It just varies on who you play against. And then Taylor Clark comes in, and Listen, the Royals bullpen's depleted right now because they've had close games in the 3 series or the 4 games that they played up to this point. I mean, Carlos Estevez had pitched in 3 straight games. I'm not sure when the last time he did that was. Lucas Ursig didn't have his best stuff last night, probably needed to rest a little bit. So I think that you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt that tonight's loss wasn't bad. Tonight's loss wasn't one that you would be overly concerned with because at the end of the day, they're 4-1 on a road trip against 2 teams that are competing for a playoff spot. And I really think that this win or this loss is not going to hurt them that much. I mean, I didn't have a chance to look around at some of the other scores today, but it looks like the Tigers lost. They are really scuffling right now. The Twins got smoked again. The Mariners lost. The Red Sox lost. So, excuse me. So you didn't really lose very much ground in losing this game. I really don't find myself that concerned with this loss because Dylan Cease was going to pitch well. The Royals hadn't faced a hard thrower, really. I mean, Pivetta's kind of an in-between guy. He's not a soft thrower, but he's not a guy that's going to run it up there at the triple digits like Dylan Cease can. But at the same time, you'd like to, at some point, see the Royals hit a good pitcher and hit him well. And the Royals didn't do that today. They didn't do that against Dylan Cease, a guy they've got experience against. So I think that things are going to be just fine. They need to win a series tomorrow, but if they don't, it's not the end of the world. If you would have told yourself 5 days ago that the Royals were going to go 4-2 on the road trip against the Rangers and the Padres, you would have been elated with that news. You would have been super pumped about it. So I think that you have to take into account the games that they have just played, the fact that, Lucas Ursig didn't pitch today. Carlos Estevez didn't pitch today. They were able to get rest to some of their guys. They were able to get reps for some of their guys. You got Sam Long getting an inning for the first time. Wasn't blown away by what I saw from him. I don't think he's a fixture in the bullpen for the time to come, but I think the Royals were fine. I think that's what you're going to get from them against a good pitcher, and Dylan Cease is a good pitcher. So that is my overall thoughts, and that's what you'll be talking about tomorrow. All right, when we come back, we are going to take a look at some of the comments, some of the live stream comments, because you guys all have questions, and I want to answer them after tonight's game against the Padres. That's coming up next on the Royals Postcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I want to tell you about the sponsors of today's video. First, Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack for busy days. Whether I'm snacking at my desk, on a road trip, or just need a quick protein boost, they are always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. Get snackin and get crackin with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. The other sponsor of today's video is FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. With Game 7 on Sunday, I'm going to be all in on the Indiana Pacers to cover that fourth quarter spread. And who knows, maybe I will be able to bet them live on the money line in the fourth quarter on FanDuel. My same game parlay for this game, I'm going to take Tyrese Halliburton over his assist number. I'm going to take Obi Toppin under his points total. I'm going to take Jalen Williams over his points total, and I'm going to take the under in the game. So that's my same game parlay, and you can put one in yourself at FanDuel. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, let's get to some of the comments. And if you guys have any questions for me in the comments, please do let me know. Brent asked, is Canna the guy to bat behind Cags? Is he the right guy to do that? Brent, I would have to say That's probably not what they're going to do in the long run. I don't think that Mark Canha, his leash with this team is very long. I think that they do need more protection behind Jack Caglianone in the lineup, and I do think that's coming. I don't think the Royals very soon are going to get a middle-of-the-order bat because those are very expensive, and I don't think the Royals are in a position to sell the farm to go out and get one more bat or one more guy. So for that reason, I'm more so thinking they're going to get more of a Paul DeJong type, but maybe a little bit more than what Paul DeJong got them last year. But I seem to find myself thinking that they're going to go out there and they're going to get a right-handed bat. It probably isn't going to be Taylor Ward yet or Jesus Sanchez yet. I know he's left-handed and he's an outfielder, but I think they're probably going to find a right-handed bat at some point. I don't think it's Cam Devaney, but at some point they're going to have to get a guy to hit seventh. That isn't Drew Waters, and that isn't Freddie Fermin, and that definitely isn't Mark Canha. So for that reason, I think that they go out and add to this roster in terms of a right-handed bat, because I think that's the one thing I found myself thinking over and over again. This team needs a left-handed bat. This team needs a left-handed bat. But now I start to find myself thinking, okay, now that Hunter Renfroe's gone, that's an outfielder you don't have anymore. You're playing John Rave almost every day, or Drew Waters, and he's a switch hitter. I think the Royals need a right-handed bat and one that you can put down low in the order so that you can stack him with maybe a Freddie Fermin or a Nick Lofton so that you don't have to worry about Jack Caglianone facing a lefty out of the bullpen with Kyle Isbell or Drew Waters batting right behind him. Northern Missouri Outdoors said, should Cags hit third? I do not think so. I think Cags needs to be maybe the 5-hole. I mean, I'm not going to be too picky about where they bat him because at the end of the day, he's going to have to hit himself out of the spot he's currently in. I thought his at-bats were really, really solid today. I know he only went 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a hit by pitch, but he was patient. He worked some at-bats, especially that last walk. I thought that was a really good AB from Cags. But I don't think you hit him at third. That's a lot of pressure to put on a kid that came up in the middle of the season. And I think that you've got guys that you can hit in the middle of the order, like a Vinny Pasquantino or Michael Garcia, or hell, even Salvador Perez when he's on, which it fluctuates at times. You got to pick your spots with Salvi. I mean, I remember back, this was like April last season when Nick Lofton hit third against a lefty. I mean, we are much better positioned than we were last season when it comes to this lineup and guys needing to hit places. So I think that Caglianone I'd like him stay lower in the order just so that you don't have to put pressure on him, because judging by his body language, the home run he hit, the 2 home runs he hit at Texas, you could definitely tell the body language was much better after those. I was very happy with that. But I think that really, when it comes down to it, you can tell he's putting quite a bit of pressure on himself to try and be the hitter that we all want him to be. We all know that he has in him. So I think that Cag's staying lower in the lineup until he forces his way, kind of like how he forced his way into the majors when he just crushed Omaha pitching. Jack Caglianone's going to have to force his way to bat third. I don't think a Jack Caglianone that is currently hitting 217 is a guy that you're chomping at the bit to get up higher in the lineup, especially when Michael Garcia has been as hot as he is. Other questions here. Should Bobby hit fourth and Michael second? I don't think so. Bobby Witt Jr. needs to be your 2-hole hitter unless you put Vinny in the 2-hole. I think Bobby Witt Jr. is, when this lineup is at its peak efficiency, when everybody is firing at the best of their abilities, Bobby Witt Jr. is in the 2-hole. And for Michael Garcia, I think Michael Garcia, with everybody at their best abilities, I'd say Michael's in the 5-hole because then he can drive in runs. I think Michael's filled in great as a 3-hole hitter, but he's kind of that Lorenzo Cain 3-hole hitter where he doesn't have enough power really he's going to make some noise. There's going to be some pop in that bat, but he's not your traditional 25 to 30 home run hitter that most playoff teams would have in their 3-hole. So with Michael Garcia, I think that him being in the 3-hole is kind of a supplement of sorts. I don't think it's going to last very long, but I'd like to be wrong. I'd like to see Michael Garcia continue hitting in the 3-hole. So I think that until Bobby's number is in the Hall of Fame, I think Bobby Witt Jr. is going to hit second for this team. That's Bobby Witt Jr.'s role. He's always going to hit second for this team. What do you think of Q's managerial decisions on the starters? Took Cameron out too early. At this point, I don't even know what Noah Cameron's leash is. I'm not going to kind of have an opinion on it when I don't know the full story. but I don't think that they pulled him too early. I mean, he was at 88 pitches. He'd already seen the lineup 2 or 3 times through the order. I'm at the point where, like, he's a rookie. You don't want him to get tagged and his confidence to go away. So I don't mind pulling him early, but in a game where you probably are shooting for a win, this game I feel like they were not okay with losing, but this wasn't an all-out effort, all hands on deck, Game 7 effort from the Royals, because Carlos Estevez was unavailable. Ursig was probably unavailable. Angel Zerpa, who knows what his availability was today. You didn't have your aces out of the pen today, and you were going up against one of the best pitchers in the National League when he's at his best, with a rookie on the mound, a 26-year-old rookie on the mound. So I don't think that this was an A-plus effort from the Royals offensively, and especially with the managerial decisions from Q. I think at this point, Q's just kind of playing damage control. Mike Matheny would go out and make sure that Noah Cameron gets 7 innings here. And that's why Mike Matheny is updating his LinkedIn account right now. I don't think Noah Cameron needed to go another inning. I don't mind getting him out of there. The quick hook, it's fine. But I don't find myself questioning Matt Quatraro's decisions because he's smarter than I am. And I trust what he does because he was the AL Manager of the Year runner-up last season. He turned this team around for one of the best turnarounds in modern or recent history. So I think that Matt Quatraro has done a fine job as the manager this season. I know a lot of people don't like him. I know a lot of people don't like his decisions, but there's no HDH in that bullpen. And there certainly wasn't tonight. And I think that Matt Quatraro was just trying to protect Noah Cameron and make sure he didn't give up a 7 spot in the 5th. So I don't think that Taylor Clark was the guy to go to after that. But at the end of the day, Noah Cameron was certainly fine, but nothing spectacular. Nothing that made you think he's got to stay in. He was missing spots in that inning. Didn't have his best command. The stuff wasn't there. I'm okay with him not being in that outing. So I think that's all we have in terms of the comments and my analysis on the game. Pretty uninspiring loss, but at the same time, they're 4-1 on the road trip, and I don't think that that is a bad thing. They are going to go for a 5-1 road trip tomorrow, and they're going to have, I believe it's Chris Bubich on the mound tomorrow. So I think they're going to be just fine. I think that the Royals are going to be just fine. I like them to win tomorrow against, I believe it's Randy Vasquez going tomorrow for the Padres. So I find myself thinking that this Royals team is going to win tomorrow. And that's kind of my mindset all the time. But I do believe that this Royals team is going to win this series. I think they win tomorrow. So that's my prediction. We'll be back in this chair tomorrow, I believe. I might need Jack. 3:10. I'll have to see. I don't know if I'll be able to watch the game tomorrow. I have my full-time job that will take precedence here, so I might need to have Jack fill in. I'll certainly be in communication with him, and obviously he'll be in communication on Twitter/X. So appreciate you guys for tuning in here on a Saturday night. One of us will be back tomorrow for the Royals postcast as they wrap up the series with the Padres. That's coming up tomorrow, and appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm Chance Liebau. This has been the Royals postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network.